everyone, welcome to From Erin's Library. It's the end of September, and I'm just now doing my August wrap-up. It's been a while. I've been so busy with work and life in general that I just haven't had time to film videos. I'm not going to do a September wrap-up, but I'll put the books I read in the community tab here on YouTube. So, stay tuned for that. And now, let's get into the books I read in August. The first one is The It Girl by Ruth Ware, which is my most anticipated read of the whole year. Unsurprisingly, I gave it 5 stars. It's more of a slow burn than her other books, but I liked being drip-fed clues and red herrings, and the main reveal wasn't super shocking to me, but I still really enjoyed trying to figure everything out. There were other mysteries surrounding the death that kept it interesting, and it's kind of reminded me of how I felt after I read One by One, where I figured out who the killer was, but I had a great time along the ride, and it just, Ruth Ware is so good at atmosphere, and this is incredible. The next book I read was The House Across the Lake by Riley Sager, and I gave it 2.5 stars, which is really disappointing because I do enjoy his books, and this one just was not it for me. It was about an actress who is kind of really struggling in her life with being an alcoholic and not having any jobs, and the death of her husband at this lake house. And then she's trying to figure out what happened there, and there's another couple in the area that is also famous, and stuff happens. I can't really spoil it, but it was...
Oh my god!
I hope we got that on camera.
We did.
Amazing. Okay. I gave this book 2.5 stars. I found it really...
Why did that scare me so bad?
I found it really repetitive and slow. I did get a good sense of atmosphere and a good sense of place, and that to me goes a long way. But the main reveal of this book is so silly and uninspired, and I hate when mysteries do this. I was so mad. I didn't like it at all. The protagonist also made really bad decisions. Not like with her drinking, but with the way she went around trying to figure out what happened. It was just bad. Maddie! Hello. Okay. Good girl. The next book I read was Taste by Stanley Tucci. I gave it 4 stars. I didn't know what to expect because I knew absolutely nothing about Stanley Tucci. There's a bookmark in it because my mom is reading it. I liked getting to know him and the throughway of food in his career, and there were also recipes throughout, which I liked. Some were more complex than of hers, which is good for all different, skill sets. And I liked how he connected the recipes to his heritage, to his family, and to his career. So I recommend it if you like food stuff. The next book I read was The Firekeeper's Daughter by Angeline Boulet. I gave it 4 stars. No, I didn't. I lied. I gave it 5 stars. This is a mystery thriller with an Ojibwe high schooler, and she goes undercover to protect her community after she finds out there's a drug ring. I liked how this had a really good sense of place and character development. I liked the conflict between the protagonist, Donis, wanting to protect her community, but also working with police to deceive those that she loves, even though she thought it was the right thing to do at the time. And I love hockey, and this book has hockey in it. The next book I read was The Girl Who Fell Beneath the Sea. I can't show it to you because it's on the top shelf of my bookcase, which is covered with Halloween netting. But it is by Axio, and I gave it 4 stars. I'll include like a montage of the book where I showed it. I showed it in the last video. This book I thought was fast-paced, but also slow in parts. But I liked the character development, the setting, and learning about Korean legends and mythology. And I always liked when a book has you wanting to do outside research to learn more about it. So I really enjoyed it. I recommend it. My mom tried to read it, but she doesn't like fantasy. I know. So she had trouble getting into it. But if you like fantasy, if you like Korean legends, or mythology I should say, and if you just want a really good book, I recommend it. The next book is The Queen, a Queen of Gilded Horns by Amanda Joy, and I gave this 4 stars. This is the sequel to A River of Royal Blood, and I didn't like it quite as much as the first one, but I did love the character development and the culture and the magical systems. I can't say too much without spoiling the first book, but I did enjoy getting to know these characters and the setting and the culture and the mythology and the magic system a lot. The reason why I gave it 4 stars is the ending. It was too fast, too tied up neatly. It built up to something great, but it just ended in the ending was the resolution was 5 minutes of audiobook time, which is not enough. It wasn't very satisfying. And the final book that I read was Powerball by Stephanie Garber. I gave it 4 stars. I hate carnivals. I hate circuses. But this was not anything like that. It was more like a game. So this is about a girl named Starlet and her sister who are struggling with their father, and so they go to this carnival and to this island to kind of escape, but then Starlet's sister goes missing, and she has to play the game to get her back. I thought this was like the most tropey YA book I've ever read, but I loved it. I liked the romance. I liked the evocative setting, the pacing, the villains. Everything was just right up my alley. There were a few twists and turns that made it a bit silly at times, but I still fell in love with the world building, and I will be continuing the series soon. So that's everything I read in September. No, everything I read in August. Thank you so much for watching. My next video will be Halloween content, so stay tuned for that. And again, as I said, I'm going to put the books I read in September in the community tab here on YouTube. I have a lot of planning to do for the October videos, so I'll see you in October, and have a great day. Bye!